My father grew up in Karachi. He went to school in Karachi, and all my life, all my childhood, because he's no more now, but all my childhood, I have heard of Karachi referred to as a paradise lost. It was paradise. We did not need fan. It was so nice. There was a sea breeze all day. We did not need fan. It was never hot, and it was never very cold. And he would describe all the gullies of Karachi in great detail. How he used to cycle everywhere. Everything was only 15, 20 minutes away.
Imagine.
And he had Muslim friends. There was one particularly close friend of his called Tahir, and he was very fond of him. His son came to our house in 80 in Mumbai, where it was possible to travel. He stayed with us. I was a young man. He lived with us for a long period, for over a month, and his every wish we tried to fulfill. He said, I want to go to this particular cinema house. But it was never exclusive. It was never said, I've never heard from my mother, okay, this is good and something else is bad. That never happened. So there was no principle of exclusion that was ever enunciated. And so there was this tendency on the part of the Hinduism that I have seen to absorb everything. For example, there's a Mount Mary's Church in Bandra. Now that Mount Mary's Church, there is some festival once a year. People go and put candles and वो मन्नत मांगते हैं, जिसको बोलते हैं ना मन्नत मांगना. तो for them, अगर जीसस क्राइस्ट से मन्नत मांग रहे हो या गणपति से मांग रहे हो या किसी और से मांग रहे हो, उसमें कोई फर्क नहीं. सुना है वहाँ बहुत अच्छा हो जाता है. आपका इसको मेरे बेटे को लकवा मार गया है, उसको अच्छा हो जाएगा. तो आप माउंट मैरी चर्च में जा. Somebody will say प्रभा देवी के इस मंदिर में जा, सिद्धि विनायक मंदिर में जाना. तो both are equivalent. It's not that ये किसी और का धर्म है, ये किसी और का मजहब है, ये इनका मजहब.
तक़सीम हिंद 1947, The Bloody Partition of Punjab, तनाज़ा कश्मीर, 1965 की पाक भारत जंग, सानियाए मशरक़ी पाकिस्तान और भारत का किरदार, खालिस्तान मूवमेंट और ऑपरेशन ब्लू स्टार, अटल बिहारी वाजपेयी का दौरा लाहौर और कारगिल जंग, इंडियन पार्लियामेंट पे हमले, मुंबई हमले, बालाकोट पे भारतीय हमला, कुलभूषण यादव और बलोचिस्तान, तनाज़ात और इल्ज़ामात में अमन की तलाश. Watch Indo-Pak Dialogue with Dr. Ishtiaq Ahmed and leading voices from India. Talking Politics on Federal Post. अस्सलाम वालेकुम, मैं हूं हसन जफर. ये प्रोग्राम टॉकिंग पॉलिटिक्स इंडो पाक डायलॉग. हमारे साथ हैं सुजीत भट्ट साहब, डॉक्टर इश्तियाक अहमद साहब. सुजीत भट्ट साहब का मैं कुछ तारुफ आपको कराऊं. इन्होंने अपना प्रोफेशनल करियर स्टार्ट किया एज अ ट्रेड यूनियन रिसर्चर एंड टेक्निकल ट्रांसलेटर फ्रॉम जर्मन एंड डच टू इंग्लिश इन द अर्ली 80s, और पढ़ाते रहे हैं जर्मन टू कॉर्पोरेट ग्रुप्स एंड पर्सोनेल ऑफ आर्म्ड फोर्सेस. सिंस 2000 he is a software entrepreneur or one of the founder directors of a company that provides e-procurement services with patented geared primarily to the public sector. ये इनका एक प्रोफेशनल तारुफ है. डॉक्टर इश्तियाक अहमद साहब, आप जरा सुजीत भट्ट साहब का वो तारुफ कराइए जिस हवाले से आप इन्हें जानते हैं और आपकी मुलाकात हुई.
बहुत मेहरबानी. सुजीत भट्ट इज लाइक अ यंगर ब्रदर. कई सालों से हम वी हैव बीन इन टच. 2013 में और फिर ईयर बिफोर लास्ट व्हेन आई वेंट टू बॉम्बे, मुंबई, तो मैं इनके पास भी रहा. इनकी फैमिली, इनके दोस्तों से मिला. सोच के एतबार से ये तकरीबन उसी फ्रेमवर्क में सोचते हैं कि यहाँ के जो लोग हैं उनमें जितनी भी अंडरस्टैंडिंग हो वो सबके लिए अच्छा है. और कॉन्फ्रंटेशन जिस किस्म की हो रही है उस पे हम दोनों का पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू यही है कि इट इज नेगेटिविटी विच हैज टू बी क्वेश्चन. और इंटरनेशनली प्लेयर भी हैं, ये अफ्रीका में भी जाके एडवाइस करते रहे हैं हुकूमतों को. सो ऑल दिस इज देयर एंड अ वेरी डियर फ्रेंड.
बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया तारुफ का। आज का मौजू तो आप भी लेके चलेंगे जो आप तो हमारे साथ जैसे भी शेयर करना चाहें, लेकिन अब जितने भी हमारे एपिसोड्स हुए हैं, पहले हमारी बात हुई है और मैं यहाँ पे इसी चैनल पे दूसरे शोज भी करता हूँ जहाँ पे काफी जरा गर्मा गर्मी भी हो जाती है हिंदुस्तान पाकिस्तान के सब्जेक्ट को लेके। सुजीत भट्ट साहब, पहले तो एक पाकिस्तानी इस्टेब्लिशमेंट वर्सेस इंडियन इस्टेब्लिशमेंट, इसका तो एक जब से ये आज़ादी मिली है 47 के बाद से दोनों फौजों का भी एक पोजीशन रही है, दोनों गवर्नमेंट्स की भी एक पोजीशन रही है, एस्टेब्लिशमेंट्स की भी अब एक नई पोजीशन आ गई है। एक तरफ के एक्सट्रीमिस्ट और दूसरी तरफ के एक्सट्रीमिस्ट, तो एक लेयर मजीद ऐड हो गई है इस परेशानी में। अब आप जैसे चाहे गुफ्तगू का आगाज आगे करें। मैं सिर्फ आपको एक टिप देना चाहता था कि इस तरह से चीजें कॉम्प्लिकेट हुई हैं।
हाँ, बिल्कुल हुई है, कॉम्प्लिकेट हुई है, लेकिन इस सवाल का जवाब देने के पहले let me give you, I'll be speaking a lot in English because then, when
Sure,
I have to
please.
express
Thank you.
complex
Absolutely,
thoughts, I'm more
absolutely.
comfortable with it.
Oh yes, oh yeah.
Yes, so I have a personal connection with Pakistan, which I must give the background to begin with. My father happened to be in Karachi. My grandfather, we are a family from Gujarat. So although I live in Bombay, my grandfather is from Gujarat, the city of Morbi, which you may have heard of. It's where the flood occurred in 1982 and massive destruction. So he and his brother were extremely poor. We are from, just for the record, a Brahmin family. And in Gujarat, poverty among Brahmin families is rampant. So it's not that all Brahmins are landowners and rich. Certainly not the case in Gujarat. So he and his brother grew up in a small village near Morbi. And here is a story which, is worthy of Somerset Maugham or Guy de Maupassant.
Wow.
He failed his matric, whereas his elder brother passed the matric. Okay. The one who passed the matric joined the Indian Railways, the British Indian Railways, and his great grandchildren are still there doing clerk's jobs in the railway. My grandfather, he failed his matric. So, in search of his fortune, he went to Karachi, not to Mumbai. Possibly because Karachi was closer to from where he was, but that may not have been the only reason. So, the point is, at that time, Karachi was seen as a city of opportunity for people who had otherwise failed.
Which year would that be? Which year would that be?
I think that would probably be in the 20s.
20s as early.
1920s.
Absolutely, it must be Karachi. Yeah.
Yeah. So he went there around the 20s, and he had two skills. Despite having failed his matric, he could write, read, and type. That last part is important. He could use a typewriter in English. So he got in touch with, he met there two Gujarati Jain businessmen. Now, all these Brahmin, Jain, all these are relevant here to the story. That's why I'm mentioning these things.
Absolutely.
Now, the thing about Jain businessmen is, A, they spoke Gujarati but no other language. And two, they needed to have vegetarian food. Okay, and it was a voyage by ship, which lasted, God knows, 2 months or a month and a half or whatever it was. So they needed someone to cook, and having reached there, they needed someone who could speak in English and type in English, write letters in English. So these are the skills, but and again the Brahmin part plays a role here because Brahmins are supposed to be the best cooks, right? And it is considered a fortunate that you have a Brahmin cook cooking for you. So he met all those criteria. He went with them. In 2 trips, he learned the business and set up business on his own, and he became a very wealthy trader in second-hand clothing.
Oh, interesting.
So he would buy his second-hand clothing in bulk, and I'm told that, for example, the conductors on the London buses changed their uniform every 2 years. So the entire bulk of uniforms were discarded, right, at throwaway price. He would buy them, bring them to Karachi, and sell them to poor Pathans who would come down from Quetta and places in the northwest and couldn't afford uh, proper clothing, but lived in a cold area and had to therefore had required protection, warm clothing. And the margins were big because he would buy it for maybe pennies and sell it for rupees or whatever the market could hold. So he became a very wealthy man, right? My father grew up in Karachi. He went to school in Karachi, and all my life, all my childhood, because he's no more now, my father, all my childhood, I have heard of Karachi referred to as a paradise lost. It was paradise, He said, we did not need fans. It was so nice. There was a sea breeze all day. We did not need fans. It was never hot. And it was never very cold. And he would describe all the gullies of Karachi in great detail, how he used to cycle everywhere. Everything was only 15, 20 minutes away.
Imagine.
And he had Muslim friends. There was one particularly close friend of his called Tahir Ali. And he was very fond of him. His son came to our house in 80 in Mumbai, where it was possible to travel. He stayed with us. I was a young man in the 80s. He lived with us for a long period, for over a month. And his every wish we tried to fulfill. He said, I want to go to this particular cinema house called Apsara on Grant Road in Mumbai. So we would take him there. They were all smitten with Bollywood cinema, right? So they had all these landmarks. They had a wish list in their minds के यहाँ जाना है, वहाँ जाना है, इस picture को देखना है, इस theater में ही देखना है.
This is in the 1980s की बात है.
1980s, and he was wealthy. I mean, he worked for Glaxo or something, some multinational company, and so he was on a good salary. So he came with his wife and a wife's friend. So there were three of them, and we had a great time. We showed them around. So it was not as if someone is coming from an enemy country. At least in the 80s, it wasn't like that. Although 80s means it was post Bangladesh, right? It was
exactly that's what
he was already there. It was post 65, post Ayub Khan, post Bangladesh, everything. But still, this was how it was. It was, and his mother, in reverse, my brother, who was doing in a textile business at that time, visited Karachi in 88, 89, I think. And he stayed with them, right? And his mother treated him because Tahir Ali has died, and this boy is Shaheen. Shaheen's mother, who is Tahir Ali's wife, treated my younger brother, as her own son. I mean, she was in tears when he came. She was in tears when he left. So this was the atmosphere that I grew up in, and then suddenly, as later on, everything changed. As you said, now it is extremism on both sides that has amped up.
Yes.
Very interesting. I mean,
very
my understanding is that when we talk about the confrontation, this is basically what the state elites are into, especially during the current period on both sides.
This point is very
important.
That 1980s was closer to 71 and 65. Now we are We should have moved on
Much further away, yeah, much further
Yeah.
away,
further away.
and yet it is worse. Yet it is worse.
Hmm.
So
I
I'm
think what.
thinking it's not. Sorry, yeah.
No, please
No,
go
what I'm
ahead.
thinking is that we have to look deeper for the causes. And to answer your original question,
Yeah.
so let me tell you the atmosphere. I mean, this is one visit, and my background from my father being from Karachi. This is one side of this historical narrative.
That's
The
right.
other thing is, when I grew up, there was no, I went to a very secular school. It was a Parsi school, right? It was Parsi owned.
And
So
this
these
was
are
in
the best
Bombay?
because Parsis can't convert anyone,
Yeah, this
by
was in
their own
Bombay.
religion.
This was in Bombay.
Parsi school in Bombay. It was an elite Parsi school,
Hmm.
just opposite Juhu Beach. So prime location, an elite area. We had many Muslim students, Indian Muslim students. We even in 71 had a person from Bangladesh, a Muslim student, son of a Bangladeshi diplomat in Mumbai. His name was Hassan Muhammad. And Hassan Muhammad used to be our friend like anyone else. He used to come with two machine gun toting guards because he was a diplomat's son.
I have a question in mind from what you are
Yes.
telling us. Apart from wherever Pakistan figures in the problematic scenario, how far is the internal Indian politics, anti-Congress politics, has contributed to this situation as we are experiencing today? Because Indira ji was a Congress leader, and she was responsible for 71, and there should have been a stronger feeling in Pakistan against Congress rather than BJP. BJP has actually done nothing apart from their own internal politics.
Well, Vajpayee started the Lahore bus, the Delhi Lahore bus. That's
Exactly.
one thing they talk about. You're right. Basically,
If at all it
Yeah.
were Indian parties, Pakistanis should have been more
more
sympathetic
in favor of
to
Indira Gandhi. Yes.
BJP
In favor
rather
of
than
Congress.
Congress, given the history.
So I'll try to give you my take on this whole thing. So as I said, while growing up, there was no consciousness of us being Hindus. Although I'm a Hindu Brahmin, technically speaking. So I belong to the caste that has to have the most kind of venom inside me. But it was not like that. So what happened? For example, my father had a driver whose name was Surya Narayan. Okay. Now Surya Narayan obviously means he was not a Muslim, right? And Surya Narayan. So we used to leave from home in Mumbai in Vilepale, which is a western suburb of Mumbai. And my father's office used to be in Opera House. Okay, it's about a 15-kilometer ride through traffic. So it takes about 45 minutes. Used to it back in those days. Now it takes 90 minutes. But the point is, the first thing that came after our house within half a kilometer was a Hanuman temple on the right. Okay, and so he would make some sort of a genuflection, Surya Narayan, towards the Hanuman temple. But then a kilometer or two away on the left was Saint Teresa's church. Okay, he would look at that while driving and do some sort of a gesture, sort of paying his respects. He wouldn't make a cross or anything, but paying his respects. Then further on, the Jama Masjid of Bandra. Okay, he would do the same. Then there would be a Prabhadevi temple. If any of you know Bombay well, if you've been here or lived here, you would know this route. So then there's the famous Prabhadevi, Shitla Devi temple. Sorry, not Shitla Devi temple. Again, the same thing. Then further down, there's a little mosque. Again, the same thing. Then further down, there's a famous Ganpati temple in Prabhadevi. Same thing. Further on, there's the Haji Ali Mausoleum. So he wouldn't distinguish कि ये दरगाह है, ये मस्जिद है, ये मंदिर है, क्या है. Which ईश्वरी भगवान का कुछ है, तो you have to pay your respects. So that is how it was, you know. And this man is an illiterate driver. It's not even that he is very well educated or anything. But anything that is remotely divine looking or sounding. Now, this was the natural character of what was Hinduism back then. Now, what has happened is, over the years, it has been systematically uh, become kind of reified. See, the one thing about Hinduism, as I understood it while growing up, like even my mother is a very believing Hindu. You know, she has like half a dozen gods. Every morning she prays to them, and she has a little bell, and she does a arti and a puja and all that sort of. But it was never exclusive. It was never said. I've never heard from my mother, okay, you know, this is good and something else is bad. That never happened. So there was no principle of exclusion that was ever enunciated. And so there was this tendency on the part of the Hinduism that I have seen to absorb everything. For example, there's a Mount Mary's Church in Bandra. Now that Mount Mary's Church, there is some festival once a year. People go and put candles and वो मन्नत मांगते हैं, जिसको बोलते हैं ना मन्नत मांगना. तो for them, अगर जीसस क्राइस्ट से मन्नत मांग रहे हो या गणपति से मांग रहे हो या किसी और से मांग रहे हो, उसमें कोई फर्क नहीं है. सुना है वहां बहुत अच्छा हो जाता है आपका, इसको मेरे बेटे को लकवा मार गया है, उसको अच्छा हो जाएगा, तो आप माउंट मैरी चर्च में जाना. Somebody will say प्रभा देवी के इस मंदिर में जाना, सिद्धि विनायक मंदिर में जाना. तो both are equivalent. It's not that ये किसी और का धर्म है, ये किसी और का मजहब है, ये इनका मजहब है. तो that over the years, by a slow process of poisoning, has changed. And Hinduism, which lacked in my childhood any principle of exclusion, because you know you can easily say, "Bhaiya, you are not a Muslim," but there is some exclusion principle, right? Whereby if you fail that test, you are not a Muslim. But there was no such test for because I grew up in a religious Hindu family. If there was a test, I would have known, and that's why.
One thing for my clarification. There was no exclusion in this spiritual sense, but wasn't there some problem regarding eating together and food code, things like this? Maybe not in Bombay, but this has been one factor that the two communities could not sit together and eat during the 1930s and so on.
Yes, there was.
There?
So what I have said is regards deities or you know, religious worship.
Yes,
it was possible to worship any god from any religion. Okay, that's one thing. However, there were endogamy is one major principle. So forget marrying a Muslim. You could not even think of marrying outside your caste.
Yes.
Okay. But that doesn't, I mean, it had nothing to do with whether you are, you know, it was not a religious prohibition. It was a kind of a social taboo. You don't marry outside your caste. You don't marry outside your religion. And co-dining was an issue, eating together. But that was not the case in Karachi or Bombay. As I said, my father's closest friend was Tahir Ali. They ate at each other's house. They did everything together. But if my father had fallen in love, let's say, with Tahir Ali's sister, then there would have been an issue. Then the whole house of cards would have.
So the lines were drawn and respected on both sides.
Yeah, the lines were drawn and respected. Nobody even said.
Yes, not even.
वहां जाना ही नहीं, जिसकी गली में जाए क्यों, वो है ना गालिब वाला.
Were not spoken out, but it हो सकता है कभी ऐसा जैसे इनकी नरगिस जी की दत्त साहब से शादी हुई.
हाँ, तो वो अपर क्लास में हो सकता था, बहुत ही हाई. Like Nargis and Sunil Dutt, I told you I went to an elite school. Sanjay Dutt, their son, was in my class. He's the same age as me. उसी स्कूल
हाँ,
में
संजय दत्त
बेबी
अच्छा।
क्लास वगैरह किंडरगार्टन में, फिर वहां से निकल गए, वो कहीं और चला गया। लेकिन नरगिस और सुनील दत्त हमारे स्कूल में स्पोर्ट्स डे को आते थे, तो द होल स्कूल वाज वेरी एक्साइटेड, सुनील दत्त आया है, नरगिस
हाँ,
आई
definitely.
वगैरह। हाँ, तो वो ही वाज अ बिग स्टार इन दोस डेज ना।
Yes.
बट नोबडी रेज द क्वेश्चन कि ये हिंदू है या मुसलमान है, या वो सवाल ही नहीं आया। नोबडी वाज बॉदर्ड। अभी ये नरगिस है और ये सुनील दत्त है, बात खत्म हो गई। देखो और खुश हो गए। तो बट
ये खराब
this could
कैसे
be
होना
done
शुरू हुआ
only in the
सारा
upper class.
Amrita Singh, Saif Ali Khan married Amrita Singh. So in that class
Yeah.
it was possible, but otherwise
It is still possible.
It's still
Yes.
possible.
Azharuddin, our cricket captain, married Sangeeta Bijlani. That was his second marriage.
Yes.
Shah Rukh Khan is married to a Hindu woman, Gauri
Yes.
Khan.
Yes.
Amir Khan had a succession of Hindu wives. Salman Khan's, he has Ganpati at his home during the Ganpati festival. So one way of looking at it is they are not real Muslims, quote unquote. I'm sure that is what they say in Pakistan. ये मुसलमान है ही नहीं, सिर्फ नाम से है.
ये तो
But
डॉक्टर
that's not
साहब
how we look at it. For here in India, शाहरुख खान मुसलमान है साला. देखो, हिंदू लड़की को फंसाया उसने.
ये डॉक्टर साहब
आमिर खान ने
हमारे
3 लड़कियों को फंसाया.
ये मेरे ख्याल डॉक्टर साहब से थोड़ा सा ये डॉक्टर साहब you can you shed light on it? मैं सुजीत भट्ट साहब I must share this. ये जो हमारे यहाँ डिवीजन है ना, ये बरेलवी एंड देवबंदीज एंड all these, डॉक्टर साहब I was not aware of these definitions until I was 40. वो तो when I went to Arabia and I came to know कि ये क्या होता है, then I tried to find out कि भाई which side I am on technically.
What is your identity? Right.
So yes, I've just very little knowledge of these divisions. Dr. Saab, आप बताइएगा.
I would say that as far as Pakistan is concerned, there was an early manifestation of this, but by the time Islamic socialism came up with Zulfikar Ali Bhutto, it resulted in a reaction from the conservative forces. So how would they meet this challenge of socialism, even if it was called Islamic socialism? So they brought in the ulama now, all opposed to any idea of socialism, that this is an atheistic ideology and so on. And then you notice that as this idea got deeper and deeper and the people voted for Bhutto Sahab, the polarization in politics started taking place. After Bhutto was hanged, this became a style of politics which suited those in power. Sectarianism became a very sort of divisive force, and society started polarizing. Then, with the rise of Iran, this Shia Sunni division among Muslims got accentuated. And then the so called Afghan Jihad and so on, once that was over, some of these organizations were directed towards India, Kashmir liberation. Out of it came the Bombay attack and many other such acts of terrorism in India. And that's when I think in India, the type of Hinduism which Sujit ji is telling us, its reaction was then to, this argument that Hindus and Muslims are two different nations existed already way back. But because of Mahatma Gandhi and the Congress movement and the left movement, these tendencies had been marginalized. But once the wars had their effect, but not so much, until terrorism was carried out by Pakistani based people in India, and that gave a chance to the Hindu right wing people, beginning with an internal problem of Shah Bano case, where instead of she being allowed an allowance as all Indian women were entitled in that situation. An exception was made for Muslims. So you then have this reaction regarding the Babri Masjid, and so the process begins. Terrorism comes in from both sides. Muslims are killed. The Gujarat massacre of Muslims. So I think
Oh,
this is how the
related
the, the
again.
politics, जो कांग्रेस की framework where Nehru and all these people had ensured कि हम एक हैं, that began to be increasingly questioned, and
Yes.
हाँ जी, and it resulted in electoral success for the BJP. ये ऐसे मुझे लगता है.
Yes. इस पे
No,
ये
I
बहुत
agree entirely. Sorry, go ahead.
जी,
प्लीज कंटिन्यू. नहीं,
No,
मैं तो ये सोचा था
uh,
कि ये डॉक्टर साहब ने जो बात की है, तो ये तो डॉक्टर इकबाल ने 1930 का जो इलाहाबाद का उनका एड्रेस था, द फेमस वन, उसमें उन्होंने पॉइंट आउट की थी कि ये हमारे वेस्ट में ये प्रॉब्लम मौजूद है, एंड उसको उसको पॉइंट आउट किया था कि ये इन्वेजन ऑफ आइडियाज एंड ऑफ इस तरह की फोर्सेस फ्रॉम अफगानिस्तान एंड बियॉन्ड. तो what I understand कि this is not indigenous to India and Pakistan, of course. ये सारी ideas ये कहीं बाहर से आए हैं, and जैसे डॉक्टर साहब ने Iranian revolution and whatever happened in Afghanistan, and so we
absolutely. उससे पहले, let me give an example. I grew up, I'm born 47. On Sundays, my father would take us to the walled city of Lahore, not inside, but outside the walled city was a green belt all around. And so
still
you could see these madaris performing their things, atheists and religious people having debate, and everybody was listening. Nothing more than an exchange of ideas. There were these malangs performing their dances. And so even that sort of Lahore had this type of inclusion, pluralism, which was part of the Indian subcontinent ethos, even after partition of India and Pakistan. So within Muslims, you could have all sort of opinion, but all that became increasingly questioned because of these external forces impinging in our politics. मुझे ये लगता है. And then came the Khalistan movement, also in response to Khomeini becoming the charismatic leader. तो Sikh, a priest, started gaining importance. So ये
होती है ना ये चीज
जी जी
अपराइजिंग.
ऐसे ही हुआ है. ये एक्सटर्नल इन्फ्लुएंस है. इंटरनल जो थी ना, एक सब कॉन्टिनेंट में कि सब मिल के रहो, जो भी तुम हो, वो फिर क्वेश्चन होता गया.
वो अमेलगमेशन तो वो मेल्टिंग पॉट तो फॉर 1000 years और
वही मैं
700
कह
years.
रहा हूँ. बिल्कुल.
जी सुजीत
जी, Sujit, you were telling us
Yeah.
something. जी.
Yeah, I was going to say I agree entirely with what both of you are saying. However, there was always, on both sides, on the Muslim side as well as the Hindu side, there was always a minority current which was actively trying to subvert this.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
it was not that बाहर से आया और यहाँ था ही नहीं, यहाँ उसका बीज था, और
ठीक
वो
है.
बीज पनपने नहीं दिया नेहरू साहब ने. यहाँ वो जो नेहरूवियन ईथॉस जो था उसमें वो पनपा नहीं, बीज अंकुरित नहीं हुआ. इट डिड नॉट स्प्राउट. लेकिन underground efforts were always on to make, because there is this whole envy, we don't have a book, we don't have an exclusion principle, there is no one thing which says, if you don't do this. Examples are beef. For example, beef is not actually banned among Hindus. It's a misconception. The Vedas refer to beef eating. The Vedic Aryans, who are the founders of this whole tradition, they used to eat horse meat. Forget beef. There is a term called Gogna Brahmin. Gogna Brahmins are Brahmins who are given the best cuts of beef. They are reserved for them. Okay, this is, I'm not making it up. It's there. In India today, in 2025, the states of Karnataka, Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Telangana, the entire northeast, they all have open sale of beef. It is eaten there by the local population. In fact, in Goa, which is again a beef eating state, there was a news report in the last election. A BJP aspirant to the MLA, a member of the Legislative Assembly, he promised that if I am elected, I will give you the best beef at the lowest price. So ये पूरा opportunism है, you know, there is nothing.
ये opportunism
there is
है.
Look at that.
ये ऐसा कुछ है ही नहीं, because you show me a text which says unambiguously that beef eating is sinful. ऐसा कहीं मिलेगा नहीं आपको. तो ये जो है ना, the idea to cast Hinduism in the mold of the Abrahamic religions, make it full of prohibitions, ये करना हराम है, ये नहीं है वगैरह, वो था ही नहीं. क्योंकि it was a better I'll give you another very dramatic example. There is a festival after the monsoons called Navratri. There are 9 nights of celebration. The person who is worshipped is a goddess. Now, no goddess exists in any of the Vedas, so God knows where these goddesses came from. So that whole history, like Wendy Doniger and all these people have talked about this. So we won't go into that kind of academic stuff. But the point is, in the state of Bengal, West Bengal, right, and in the state of Gujarat, both these festivals are celebrated with equal vigor. And there's a particular day in Navratri, I think it's the 3rd or 4th or 5th day, I don't remember which one, in which in Bengal, freshly cooked goat meat, mutton, is offered to the goddess. Okay? You try to do that in Gujarat, you will be lynched. I mean, I try to do that, I will be lynched. They will not ask me, हिंदू है, मुसलमान है, वो वहीं मैं लिंच हो जाऊंगा, खत्म हो जाएगा. बाद में पता चलेगा कि इनका हो गया. So this is how it is. You know, so हिंदुइज्म में क्या है क्या नहीं है किसी को मालूम नहीं.
ये सारी चीजें यही आई हैं महल, टेंडेंसीज थी, बिल्कुल आप सही कह रहे हैं, लेकिन दे गेन पॉलिटिकल सिग्निफिकेंस एंड रेलेवेंस एज a sense of insecurity was created.
They are inventing, they are making things up as they go along, you know. तो एक तो है कि भैया ये कुरान में लिखा है या कहीं लिखा है, वो एक होता है. दूसरा है कि you make it up. My mother, I said, you know, she had this temple-like thing structure at home, an altar with some 6-7 various gods, but there was no Ram in that, you know. Okay, Ram was not one of the gods. जिसके नाम पर बाबरी मस्जिद तोड़ी और जिसका मंदिर हुआ, I have never seen in Bombay. There are maybe there'll be hundreds of Shiva mandirs, hundreds of Ganpati mandir, but maybe half a dozen Ram mandirs. He was never a central figure. So the idea is we wanted to invent some unifying principle for Hinduism. The same applies to vegetarianism. I just gave you the names of states in India which are today beef eating, are non-vegetarian. There are Brahmins in Maharashtra who don't eat, who eat meat. All Bengali Brahmins, Rabindranath Tagore, Raja Ram Mohan Roy, you name all of them. Great Hindu thinkers and reformers. Swami Vivekananda ate beef. He has written about it. He's saying you should eat meat because otherwise you become weak. ऐसा स्वामी विवेकानंद की किताब में है. तो where is it? You know,
एक argument एक है ना, popular idea कि Indians have not been able to produce some great fast bowler क्योंकि ये मीट नहीं खाते.
Lahoris are not fond of beef much. You know that.
हम तो बीफ खाते ही नहीं है. आपको पता है लाहौर के पंजाब के घरों में अगर आप बीफ पका के सर्व करें अपने गेस्ट को तो you are never forgiven. Beef is not. Beef came to Punjab and Lahore by the Urdu-speaking Muslims who came here. हम तो सब्जी खाते हैं और मटन होता था और सब्जी. वो भी
चिकन आजकल बहुत चिकन हो गया है ना.
अब तो चिकन आ गया ना, वो जो ब्रॉयलर का चिकन आ गया, वो बात ही और है. So this is different.
So I have been to Lahore twice.
Yes.
After in the 2000s. Before the Mumbai attack. उसके बाद तो बंद हो गया था. But I was trying to do business there. So once I attended a e-procurement. That's my field. So e-government conference in LUMS in Lahore.
हाँ, अच्छा.
And I made many friends. One of my very close friends, unfortunately, he died of a heart attack. But he's young. He was younger than me. His name was Adnan Khan, and he was Director General of E-Procurement, Government of Pakistan. So I met him there, and he became my close friend. He used to visit me, stay at my house. I used to stay at his house. And he was a Buddhist. I said, Adnan Mia, naam to tumhara Adnan Khan hai, to Buddhist. So by choice, मैं Buddhist हूँ. So maybe he turned Buddhist at a time when this whatever apostasy law was not applicable.
हाँ, ऐसे ही होगा,
So I
ऐसे ही
said,
होगा. What a
हाँ,
pity he
ऐसे ही होगा.
died. ऐसे लोग होने चाहिए यार.
You
हाँ.
can be anything.
He died. Huh?
अच्छा.
Privately you can be anything. अब तो हमने सुना है कि यहाँ सऊदी अरेबिया में और ईरान में इतना एथियज्म है और people leave, I don't know, maybe they don't openly declare it, but
ऐसे ही है, डर के नहीं करते, लेकिन people are now getting fed up with this dogmatism जो कि सोसाइटी को ना.
कब तक बर्बाद करना था लोगों ने, इतना डंडा, इतना हर वक्त आप स्टिक लेके खड़े रहे कि भाई ऐसे बन जाओ वैसे
चलता
बन
नहीं है. इट कांट बी फॉरएवर. और आज की दुनिया में तो हो ही नहीं सकता जहां पे सोशल मीडिया है, हर किस्म के इम्पल्सेस आ रहे होते हैं. लेकिन इसका नेगेटिव यही है कि इफ द हिंदूज फील थ्रेटन्ड, और ये पुरानी टेंडेंसी है, वो मेन बन जाती है पॉलिटिकली स्पीकिंग.
और पाकिस्तान में भी है बहुत हद तक ये,
पाकिस्तान में भी है, ऐसे ही है.
तो द क्वेश्चन देन अराइजेस, will this come to India as well if there is so much religiosity through हिंदुत्व जब इतना बढ़ाया है, तो ये इसका भी कोई रिवर्सल आएगा ना फिर बाकी एग्जांपल्स देख के. कैन वी से दैट कि जैसे मिडिल ईस्ट में इन्होंने इतना इस्लाम लाने की कोशिश की है, नाउ पीपल आर रियली फेड अप विद इट. सो इन पाकिस्तान में भी not entirely but in some pockets, तो ऐसा फिर ये वहां पे भी होगा. ऑन द अदर हैंड इंटरेस्टिंगली ऑर्थोडॉक्स क्रिश्चियनिटी और ये वो यूरोप में और वो सारे वहां पे क्रिश्चियनिटी सारी वापस आ रही है.
अब विद ट्रम्प नाउ वो सारी जो चीजें थी ना, आर्मी के अंदर इफ यू आर अदर देन अ मैन और अ वुमन, तो वो कैटेगरी उन्होंने खत्म कर दी है. तो ये एक वर्ल्ड पॉलिटिक्स का क्राइसिस है. हमारे सब कॉन्टिनेंट में भी उसका असर तो होता है ना, ग्लोबलाइजेशन और ये और वो. तो इंडिया में जो अब ऑब्जेक्टिफिकेशन हो गई है ना हिंदुइज्म की एब्राहमिक फ्रेमवर्क में, इस थ्रेट को अब कैसे क्वेश्चन हो रहा है और क्या फ्यूचर है इंडिया का, अगर हम ये पूछें आपसे, गिवन ऑल दीज फैक्टर्स एट वर्क.
I think ultimately वो रोटी कपड़ा और मकान विन, नो, वो जो अल्टीमेटली उसकी जीत तो होती है. और अब आप देखें जो लास्ट इलेक्शन हुआ 2024 का, उसमें असर दिखा. मेजॉरिटी नीचे आ गई. और यूपी में अयोध्या में जहां मंदिर बना है वहां हार गए, वहां समाजवादी पार्टी का कैंडिडेट जीत गया.
दैट्स राइट. एक ब्राह्मण हार गया और एक दलित जीत गया. एक दलित जीता, ब्राह्मण हार गया. ऐसे ही हुआ ना वहां पे.
कहाँ पे?
यही अयोध्या में.
हाँ, अयोध्या में समाजवादी पार्टी का आया. वो
वही मैं कह रहा हूँ कि ना सिर्फ कि एक दलित जो है he got elected.
Yes, absolutely.
Against this whole BJP sort of.
Yes, and in Ayodhya, where he should not have, because this was where the Ram Temple, Babri Masjid को.
मैंने कहीं एक इंटरव्यू में कह दिया, फिर वो इंडिया से इतनी मुझे वो ट्रोलों ने गालियां दी, वीडियोस बनाई. So I was only observing an interesting fact, लेकिन वहां पे एक पूरा ऑर्गेनाइज्ड डिमोनाइजेशन ऑफ मुस्लिम्स, पाकिस्तानीज इतना ज्यादा होता है कि इट्स फ्राइटनिंग. लेकिन ये आई एग्री विथ यू, ये इंटरनल नहीं है टू हिंदुइज्म, ये एक
नहीं है,
पॉलिटिक्स का हिस्सा है.
और दूसरा जो है, जो हम इन दिस एनालिसिस we often leave it out of the equation, is the issue of caste.
I see, yeah.
Because caste is a very big thing in the subcontinent. I don't know how it is in Pakistan, but I can tell you in India, caste is one force that works against this kind of totalization, Abrahamization, if that's the word, if there is a word like that.
It works against
It
it,
works
you
against
think?
it because you can fool, you know, all the people some of the time, but you can't fool all the people all the time. तो ये भी एक आ रहा है. तो
चलिए
जरा ये explain करें. This sounds very interesting.
very interesting, yes.
हाँ, कि
yeah,
caste works
so
against
let me
ये
let
जो
me
है.
let me give you an example from history.
Yeah.
Okay, I have been reading. I mean, there's a whole set of problems around language that we should also look into here, because that's a very democratizing narrative, the language narrative.
Interesting.
For example, what is Urdu in Pakistan? It's a foreign language, as far as I can tell. Recently, I was watching an interview on television of 3 Pakistani teenage girls who were Virat Kohli fans, you know, and Pakistan lost that match, and Virat Kohli made 100 runs, and they were gushing like all teenage girls. You know, this guy, hamara hero hai, and they were talking in a language which they thought they were talking in Urdu, but it sounded completely like Punjabi too. That Punjabi lehka, Punjabi accent. Everything was Punjabi except the grammar and some of the words, right? So there's a similar phenomenon everywhere. You know, for example, what we call Hindi today, yeah, in North India, is merely a dialect spoken in and around Delhi, and that, because of its closeness to power historically, it became valorized. It became the language, right? And it traveled all over. It became a kind of national language. Now that Hindi, just like your Urdu is eating up Punjabi and Sindhi, they are more or less vanished. One of Ishtiaq Bhai's big complaints is Punjabi का क्या हो रहा है. तो यहाँ भी पंजाबी हिंदी खा रही है, वहाँ उर्दू खा रही है. Actually, there is not that much difference between the two.
वो चलता है,
What we call
जुबानें भी
Hindi
एक
here is
स्ट्रगल
just,
का हिस्सा है. बिल्कुल सही है.
huh?
हाँ,
Sorry?
जुबानों से भी होता है. बिल्कुल. जी जी.
Yeah. So so there was Braj Bhasha, there was Maithili, there's Bhojpuri. All of these had existing literature, very rich literature. You know, Tulsi Ramayana is in one of those Eastern languages. They were all suppressed. Now they are called dialects of Hindi, right? They were languages in their own right. So that is happening.
There is another problem. आपने विराट कोहली का जिक्र किया. अभी हम देखते हैं, if we go, अभी आप कोई भी YouTube पे मेहदी हसन साहब का कोई भी गाना खोल ले, नूरजहां साहब के, इतने मतलब इंडियंस, चाहे वो पता नहीं कैसे, जो जिस पर showering respect and love to these two.
Yes, absolutely.
जो इन बातों से नजर आ रहा है, और जो मेरी साउंड बिलीफ है, क्योंकि मैं तो इंडिया बहुत गया हूँ, इतना प्यार जो मुझे मिला है, बाद में अब मैं कोई नॉन स्कॉलर बना हूं, लेकिन आई हैव गॉन टू इंडिया व्हेन आई वाज नॉट नोन. घरों में जाना, दोस्तों को मिलना, ये वहाँ हमारा कल्चर एक ही था. और जितने हिंदू अब भी आते हैं, अब डिस्पाइट ऑल दिस ह्यूमनाइजेशन और ये और वो लोग, वो लाहौर
एक्सपीरियंस हुआ है. अभी आपको भी आप हमारे पिछले प्रोग्राम में थे, वहां पे जा रहे, इट वाज अ पॉलिटिकल डिस्कशन. जब पॉलिटिकल डिस्कशन होती है तो फिर दोनों साइडों की स्ट्रांग पोजीशन सामने आती है. अब वो आपको भी उसके अंदर ही फिट इन कर लेते हैं. although I know and you know you are not that mindset at
they
all.
know that, they know it too, but they are dying to categorize me in that sort of way. वो होता है.
ये पॉइंट भी मैं जरा क्लियर कर दूं यहाँ पे, क्योंकि वो कहते हैं कि एक तरफ तो आप बैठ के पीस की बात करते हैं, फिर आप उन लोगों के साथ भी बैठते हैं. भाई यहाँ पे दोनों तरफ स्ट्रॉन्ग ओपिनियंस हैं. हम चाहते हैं कि वो एंगेज हो. यहाँ नहीं बैठेंगे तो कहीं तो बैठेंगे. तो बेहतर है यही बैठ जाए जरा यहाँ पे, फिर भी थोड़ा सा मामले को धीमा कर ले.
इंडिया पाक, इंडो पाक डायलॉग जो है ना, मैं समझता हूँ वी डोंट हैव टू डू एनीथिंग मोर बट टू स्पीक द ट्रूथ. और उसका वो सोसाइटी के अंदर एक काउंटर या अल्टरनेटिव वे ऑफ लुकिंग एट थिंग्स है.
एग्जैक्टली. अभी बड़ी ऑकवर्ड सिचुएशन हुई सुधीर जी हमारे एक प्रोग्राम में एक बलोची सरदार हैं, वो हमारे प्रोग्राम में थे और उन्होंने गांधी जी की पर्सनालिटी के बारे में जरा थोड़ा सा, आई मीन इट वाज अ वेरी ऑकवर्ड मोमेंट फॉर मी, क्योंकि अब जाहिर है कि लेकिन उन्होंने कह दिया जो कहना था। मैं एम्बैरेसमेंट में ना, इट वाज फ्रैंकली स्पीकिंग लिटिल फनी। तो अब बाद में वो कहते हैं, और I have a lot of respect for Gandhi ji for whatever he stood for. अब ऐसे awkward moments आ जाते हैं कि आपको
आ जाते
आपका
हैं, आ
सामने
जाते
वाला
हैं, आ
समझेगा
जाते
कि
हैं,
पता नहीं यार
आ
आप
जाते
कैसे आदमी है, you know.
तो
नहीं,
इसीलिए
लेकिन आपका
सुजीत,
ओरिजिनल क्वेश्चन मैं भूल गया। आप इससे मैंने जब लैंग्वेज का पॉइंट आया तो उसके पहले आपने कुछ पूछा था, वो आई थिंक छूट गया।
जी डॉक्टर
क्या
साहब,
पूछा था?
नहीं
हाँ?
आपका ही सवाल था क्यों जी? हसन जफर, डॉक्टर
मैं
हसन जफर का था या मैं?
यही कह रहा था कि
हसन सफर ने
हाँ, मैं यही अर्ज कर रहा, मैं कि on both sides we have awkward positions. We sometimes we are caught in a situation where we don't know कि आप कैसे बनाए इसको, सिचुएशन को कैसे हैंडल करें। तो डॉक्टर साहब की बात ही कर रहा था कि you happen to be in a situation
एक प्रोग्राम के अंदर किसी ने बहुत एक्सट्रीम बातें की थी, आई वाज ऑलवेज आल्सो देयर, हालांकि मेरी बातों में तो एक्सट्रीमिज्म नहीं थी, लेकिन
Exactly.
उसके बाद मैंने जो कमेंट्स देखे हैं, कहा कि ये इसको भी कभी इंडिया में ना आने दो, ये है वो है।
बना
लेकिन
दें।
लेकिन एक और कमेंट भी था किसी पाकिस्तानी का कि आपने ये इश्तियाक को बुला लिया, क्यों बुला लिया, ये तो है
हाँ,
एंटी पाकिस्तान। तो मैंने कहा बस ठीक है,
खिलाफ
वो एक
बात
शेर भी
करते
तो है ना, एक शेर भी तो है
हैं।
कि
जी, जी।
वाइज़ तंग नज़र ने मुझे काफ़िर जाना, वाइज़ तंग नज़र ने, यानी द प्रीस्ट, नैरो
आई
माइंडेड
अंडरस्टूड।
प्रीस्ट ने मुझे काफ़िर जाना, और काफ़िर कहते हैं कि मुसलमान है तू। तो ये वाली मेरी पोज़ीशन
हाँ जी।
नहीं, ये जावेद अख्तर भी यही कहते हैं। जावेद
है। जी,
अख्तर कहते हैं मुझे दोनों से गाली मिलती है, और जब तक मुझे दोनों से गाली मिलती है आई एम कन्विंस कि मैं सही रास्ते पे।
यही मैं
जी।
तो
कहता
ये
हूँ।
जावेद
दिस इज़
अख्तर
व्हाट आई
यही
दिस इज़ व्हाट आई
एक्सप्रेस करते हैं।
यही
बट
ऐसे
तो
सुजीत
दोनों
जी,
से गाली मिलनी चाहिए तो आप सही रास्ते पे।
जी,
थोड़ी सी आज जल्दी इजाजत लेनी होगी। आई हैव टू अटेंड एन ऑनलाइन मीटिंग टुडे आफ्टर 5 मिनट्स।
मेरे ख्याल से दिस हैज़ बीन वन ऑफ द मोस्ट स्टिमुलेटिंग डिस्कशन
यस
जो आज हुई
इंडीड,
है ना। हाँ जी।
सर्टेनली। लेकिन हमें इसमें ही हमारा मेटल टेस्ट होना है सिचुएशन में कि जब हमें दोनों तरफ से मुश्किल है तो वी रिमेन स्टेडफास्ट।
We remain steadfast. That's right.
We have to remain steadfast. Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, this is a long discussion. We can go on. We can talk about so many other things. This whole language issue, for example, is a very big topic. It's a very big topic. For example, the difference between Northern Urdu and Dakhani Urdu. It's fascinating, and how the local grammars have influenced the language.
That's true. I
Local
would even
grammars, local pronunciations. Like, for example, in no language, I mean, Urdu claims to be a direct descendant of Farsi and Arabic and all that. It has a lot of vocabulary from these languages. But there are many grammatical and phonetic features of Urdu which don't exist in other languages, in these languages. For example, the aspirated consonants like pha, फूल तुम्हें भेजा है खत में, वो फूल फारसी में फ नहीं है, अरबिक में भी नहीं है। ठीक है,
ये लोकल है, ये
there
हमारा
are
है।
so many. I can talk for 1 hour on that only, on the languages.
मैं ये भी लैंग्वेज के इशू पे मैं कहना चाहता हूँ कि एक्चुअली इस इशू को मोतीलाल नेहरू रिपोर्ट ने बहुत अच्छा हैंडल किया था। उन्होंने कहा था कि हिंदुस्तानी है जुबान, यानी जो जिसके ये डायलेक्ट्स हैं या जो भी है, जो आम लोग बोलते हैं। जब मैं इंडिया जाता हूँ, व्हेन आई स्पीक टू पीपल, हिंदी के लफ्ज भी होते हैं विच कॉन्टेक्स्ट मुझे समझ आ जाते हैं, लेकिन बेसिकली जो लोग बोल रहे होते हैं वो हिंदुस्तानी है। इसको उर्दू और हिंदी का फ्रेमवर्क एक्सक्लूसिव जो है वो आर्टिफिशियल है, तो वो गलत है, ऐसे मुझे लगता है। हाँ जी,
नहीं, सही, बिल्कुल गलत है। जितना हमारा इंडिया पाकिस्तान का सेपरेशन गलत है, मेरे इन माय ओपिनियन, उतना ही हिंदी उर्दू का फर्क है।
ऐसे
जी।
That's not
तो
a very
आज
popular opinion in Pakistan,
अभी
I'm sure.
डॉक्टर साहब मैं ये सोच रहा हूँ कि जितने अब ये मेरे ख्याल है 27th एपिसोड है हमारा, तो जितने लोग अब तक हमारे साथ आए हैं एक राउंड उनके साथ और करते हैं सब लोगों के साथ, बिकॉज एवरी टाइम वी अराइव एट द एंड ऑफ द डिस्कशन हमें लगता है कि बहुत सा कुछ रह गया कहने को, सो वी शुड कैच अप
Incomplete
विद दैम अगेन, ताकि जो बातें पहले रह गई हैं वो आगे
आपको
हो जाए।
दोबारा बुलाएंगे सुजीत, विल इनवाइट यू अगेन,
बिल्कुल,
ठीक है?
उनको
I'll be
दोबारा
happy to
बुलाएंगे।
come.
और
जी।
हमारे देखने वाले जो हैं हिंदुस्तान से, पाकिस्तान से, अगर आपको हमारे इस प्रोग्राम में आना, आप अपना प्रोफाइल हमारे साथ शेयर कीजिए, मे बी यू हैव समथिंग वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग टू शेयर विद अस, और अगर आपके बहुत ही हमारे अगेंस्ट भी पोजीशन लेंगे तो दिस फोरम इज अवेलेबल, आप आइए बात कीजिए।
हाँ,
वी आर ओपन
No,
हमारे
absolutely. I enjoyed this very much.
थैंक यू सो मच।
हमें
मैं थोड़ा
कोई
नर्वस था कि बड़े-बड़े लोग आते हैं यहाँ, हरबंस मुखिया आए और स्कॉलर्स आए, इश्तियाक भाई स्कॉलर है इतने बड़े, और हम तो
नहीं,
कुछ है ही नहीं।
हमारे लिए आपका आना बहुत
नहीं,
हमारे
नहीं,
लिए
मैं
क्या
तो
कहते
आपकी
हैं कि
क्वालिटी जानता हूँ ना, तो स्कॉलर होना तो एक फॉर्मेलिटी है। बंदे
जी
का
जी
जो है ना वे ऑफ लाइफ दुनिया वो डिटर्मिन करता है।
नजरिया।
तो ये सर डॉक्टर इश्तियाक अहमद साहब, आपकी इजाजत से मैं ये अपने ऑडियंस को, इंडियन और बहुत पाकिस्तानी, आप अपना अगर हमारे साथ आके इस डिस्कशन में आना चाहते हैं, अपना प्रोफाइल शेयर कीजिए। इफ यू अगर हमारी फिर वो एक एडिटोरियल स्क्रीनिंग है, हमें आपके आइडिया से प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, आप आके हमारे साथ बात करें। लेट्स टेक दिस डायलॉग फर्दर ऑन अ डिफरेंट लेवल इन फ्यूचर। तो आज के लिए इजाजत लेंगे, हमें एक मीटिंग में जाना है, इसलिए जरा 15 मिनट पहले, यूजुअली वी डू होल 1 आवर। तो सुजीत जी बहुत मैं तो सोच रहा हूँ हिंदी बोलना शुरू कर दें। धन्यवाद कहें आपको इश्तियाक अहमद साहब।
धन्यवाद आपको भी।
आज हमारा सौभाग्य आप हमारे साथ शामिल हुए, हमें इतनी हिंदी ठीक है सर, बहुत शुक्रिया।
आपका शुक्रिया, बहुत-बहुत शुक्रिया।
टेक केयर जी, ऑल द बेस्ट, ऑल द बेस्ट।